As we have a lot going on in the world, uh, I'm seeing companies change their vision and mission statements, reevaluating their values. And I think you should do the same. Look at your core values. What are your core values? Are they aligning? Or have they shifted? Uh, it's not uncommon for core values to change. Again, you've heard me say this before. As we grow and experience life, we perceive things differently. We have different understandings of things. We've gotten new pathways built in our brain that help us map out things so that we can understand them. That's what it is. And as that changes, we outgrow the past and grow into the new. I actually did this with one of my companies. I completely outgrew it. And I loved that company, but it was actually just turning into dead weight because I'd outgrown it so much that it just wasn't there for me anymore. And it wasn't exciting. I liked it. I loved what the company was doing. I loved the company's mission, but I found that I was the problem. As I was growing and evolving over the years, it was impacting that company's ability to grow. And I started noticing like things coming down, right? We've got our charts. I started noticing them coming down. And instead of asking anybody else what was happening, at first I wanted to kind of look at the data myself and come up with my own conclusions and then have some conversations so that I can understand all these different perspectives that might be coming in from it. The core of it, everyone had great ideas, by the way, but the core of it was me. I had outgrown my company. So I had started creating things and evolving in a direction that was not good for that company. That company was a tangible product. It required a lot of contracts, relationships, distributions, all these different things. And I just didn't want to do that anymore. So I needed to go. So where your core values changed, right? Because at the time when I created that company, that was in line with my core values. What I'm doing now is my core values, right? And some of them do stay the same your whole life. It's just who you are, right? And we usually have three core values that are our root core values, but the other ones around that change. This is not different for companies, right? As companies grow beyond the founder and others are involved, like the company I'm not involved in anymore, thankfully, now it's working again. um, but as we evolve and the companies evolve, we have our core mission, right? We build this, we serve that. That can evolve in the beginning, but at some point, that's usually like that's it. That's what you do. And you and all your organization specializes in it. But then society changes. And we are society. So we're all changing. And as a collective, the populace globally is changing. And because of that, I'm seeing more and more companies change their vision and mission statements and their values. How is that aligning with you? If now you've had the conversation about your values, right? And now you've got your company values. Even if your company core values haven't changed, I suggest you look at them. Here's why. A lot of times when people are experiencing burnout, are starting to become dissatisfied, highly stressed, disengaged, any of these types of symptoms, that's when you need to sit back and look and figure out why, not just the surface of what happened that day. Oh, this is how it always is. This XYZ meeting every week, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm asking you to go deeper. Are you still excited? Are you still in love? Do you still enjoy all the pieces, or at least most of them? Do you have a future vision that you can see? Do you have a goal that you're still going towards that aligns with the company you're in? And what are those values? Do their values align with yours? And I'm not saying literally apples for apples. It can be apples and oranges. One of my core values is freedom. A lot of times, the companies that I have worked for in the past, I could associate that with. There was a freedom component in there that I was like, that's what made me like them. Is that piece allowed people freedom or allowed other companies freedom or what have you? Because that's my core value that's always been with me. So I tend to, or I had tended to work with companies that were the same way. And that's kind of what you can kind of unpack and see in your own experience and journey. If you're looking at your core values and the company's core values, because a very quick way to get burnt out is to not be in alignment. Then it's not fun. It's super stressful. It could be the simplest job in the world in other people's eyes. And at the same time, you completely disdain it because it doesn't align with you anymore. It's okay if you outgrew it. And it's okay if the company outgrew you. There is no wrong. It's a journey. Careers, businesses, corporations, it's all a journey. All of them are growing. All of them are evolving and changing. They have to survive. So for your survival, instead of having burnout, check your core values and check your companies. And maybe even have this conversation with your teams or your peers and see if everyone's feeling the same way. Sometimes the CEO is the one that has a completely different idea than everyone else. And you're like, wait, what? So have some fun with that. Take some time and think about it and don't rush it. Give yourself a couple weeks. Just let that sink in and process and really unpack it and see how that sits for you.